The Chattahoochee Heritage Project is a multi-platform information website that focuses on the people and the places and the history and the arts and the culture of the Chattahoochee River Valley. So the idea is to take our students out of the classroom and engage them in community, telling these stories about all of these people that might not ordinarily be told. And the response has been terrific. Most semesters, what we will do is identify a community to focus on. And so at the end of the semester, we will have a presentation to the community so the residents can come out and see the story. So that's always a neat event to be a part of that. And yeah, part of it is that we want to capture voices that we recognize one day will be lost. In fact, there's one story on the site that's from Eufaula, where a gentleman spoke with us at the time of the interview. He was 101 years old. And he was telling these stories of what the river was like before Lake Eufaula was built, before the building of the dam. And so, you know, that's a history that if we don't get it soon, we won't have the opportunity, but once we have it, it's a wonderful treasure. So that's not all we do. Those aren't the only types of stories we tell, but that's a major part of what we're trying to accomplish. There's a practical application in the sense of hands-on learning, you know, developing the skills from that hands-on practical application, and that's a very important part of what we do. But there's another side of the practical application too, in that the student understands that they are producing stories that will be utilized on the website. And so there's a practical application in the sense that it's not an assignment that, you know, they do the work and turn it in and it's graded and turned back to them, given back to them, which is important. But there's another step in that there are people in the community who are going to be reading and watching these stories. And you know, we go back and take a look at the response we're getting. And oftentimes the hits on these stories are in the thousands. So this isn't just a student writing a story and the professor seeing it and giving it back. This is practical application where thousands of people are seeing their work. And I think it impacts, you know, the quality, it impacts the experience. There's a certain pride factor for the student in doing this work, and that's what we want. So it's practical in the sense of hands-on, but it's practical in the sense of the impact it has on the community. In a sense, the internet allows us to create our own station. It allows us to create our own newspaper in that sense. So we have those platforms that we can use to make the information available, and you know, and the public has grown comfortable going to the internet to find that information. And plus, it's available when they want to see it. It's not a matter of seeing a broadcast at the time it airs. It's available whenever they click on. And you know, and we found people who have discovered the site by accident. Maybe they're searching for something in this area and they'll get a hit on our site. And so we get feedback from people that way too. Say, hey, you know, I didn't specifically go to the site, but I found this, and now that I know this is great. So I think the way to do that is, you know, understand what the project is and see how it can be provided to the public, and then build the site and make it happen. Now that's easy to say. You know, it took a long time to get to where we are, and we have, you know, we're not even close to where we want to be. I mean, that's a difficult process to go through. But it's a practical application that works. And you know, and we want to cooperate more. I want to work more with colleagues throughout campus, and that's a matter of me going and, you know, setting up the meetings and working to make this happen. So you know, this is nobody's problem but my own. But for example, with history, so you know, students from the Department of History are writing pieces that we could incorporate in the site as well, and you know, that list could go on and on. So the more coordination there is throughout campus, the better for everyone. One of the neatest things that I have heard a student say, there was a student who was involved with Chattahoochee Heritage. She was from Northern Virginia, and at the end of having been involved, she was graduating. She said, you know, she said, if I had not been involved in Chattahoochee Heritage, I never would have seen the things I saw, and I never would have met the people that I met. So that created an entirely new aspect of her college education that she would not have had otherwise. And that, that's an important part of this. So, the students are engaged in the community so that the community benefits, but so do the students, because it expands their horizons. It allows them to, again, see new places, do new things, meet new people, and that's a big part of what education is all about.